I think in terms of when we look at the road toll, and it is very easy to say the numbers out loud, and when the numbers go down to say, oh, we're seeing improvement in the numbers. I guess one thing that's always been a focus of mine is that behind each single one of those numbers is a person, and a person who was loved by someone, who has a family, who had a life, and I guess that goes to very much the human side of understanding the road toll and never, ever, ever forgetting it. And here I might just move from the politician to someone who has been personally affected by a death on the road. And, you know, I don't talk about this often, and I've never really discussed it in terms of, you know, the work that I've done as a politician. And indeed, it's almost 20 years ago now, but it's only about now that I actually feel able to start, you know, speaking about it publicly, because it has been such a difficult thing. And if it's a difficult thing for a person like me, I know how hard it is for everyone else who's been affected by a loss of life in this way. And perhaps it's wrong for me to stand here and concentrate on how my life was changed forever that day. For at least I had my life. Unlike my partner, and unlike the father of my first child, who's now 19 years old, he lost his life that day. It was a hot summer's day back in 1997. And I still remember that day like it was yesterday. In fact, writing my notes yesterday, I could remember everything about that day. The heat, the wind, the smell of the sea, all of those things imprinted on my conscience by grief, trauma, and destined never to leave me, it seems. Brett was 33. He was in the prime of his life, happy, healthy, and about to become a father for the first time. A holiday weekend, a bike ride for an experienced cyclist, wearing all the safety gear, brightly coloured like a jockey. Road riding, mid-morning, on a wide road with good vision, perfect weather. And it should have never ever ended like the way it did. A vulnerable road user he was, but he never ever stood a chance when an 87-year-old driver with a restricted licence took him out from behind as she accelerated to 100 kilometres an hour. Witnesses told police that she was out of control, that Brett did nothing wrong. But that didn't stop him from being hit from behind, thrown some distance in the air before crashing to the ground. He died instantly, they told me, as though that was some sort of, that I should take some sort of peace from that. I can't explain to you how much that loss affected me that day. Post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety disorders, they all sound better in words than they are in reality. The accident broke Brett's parents. He has a daughter he never met. Lives changed that day, forever damaged, irreparable. As you can see, I still get very affected by it. I miss him, and I'm very sad his life was taken that day. Not just for him, but for us and for everyone. And I don't think his life should have been taken. We should have protected him. That day he was let down by not only a driver who should never have been on the roads, but he was let down by the laws that allowed her to be on the roads. And it is in this personal insight that has assisted me in my work when making decisions about roads, about speed limits, about maintenance, about traffic lights, about roundabouts, about cycle lanes, around pathways. And at times, I always remember that day when everything changed.